Will Tank Davis run it back with Ryan Garcia? Part 2, Ryan Garcia versus Gervonta Davis Part 2, the rematch. Is it Ryan Garcia's revenge tour? Like, I feel like Ryan Garcia is coming off a good win, a solid comeback win against Oscar Duarte, who was no slouch. He was definitely a hard hitter. You could tell he was very aggressive. He was rough in there. I wouldn't even say dirty, but he was borderline. Very physical fighter in there, and he tried to rough Ryan Garcia up. Had success multiple times. I was worried for Ryan, honestly, at multiple points in the fight. But Ryan Garcia obviously held his own and ended up getting the stoppage win. I think, I've said it before, respect to Ryan Garcia. I give him all the credit in the world for his win. But I will say that he still looks like the same fighter to me. I don't think anything changed. We saw him do the little shoulder roll, and everybody on social media was making fun of him. But if you look at it, he dodged a lot of shots. Maybe he's a little bit too straight up with his shoulder roll. But hey, he didn't get stopped. He didn't get knocked down. So that's a plus in Ryan Garcia's book. So I think that Ryan Garcia, he's a tremendous fighter. I think that it just bothers me when people say Ryan Garcia is trash. Ryan Garcia sucks. There's just levels, in the sport of boxing. We know that there are levels, and once you get to that top 1% of fighters, obviously, if you're 10%, if you're in the 10%, but on the end, you can see the difference in skill. That's why people are always saying Ryan Garcia is trash, because with the elite, he might be lower, but Tank, Shakur, Devin, those are the guys that I always put ahead of Ryan Garcia. And then Ryan Garcia is, under here. If they're 10s, Ryan Garcia is like an 8. So it doesn't mean Ryan Garcia is trash. Ryan Garcia is not trash. You don't do 1.2 million buys in the sport of boxing alongside Tank, giving him credit as well. You can't, generate that many sales if you suck, if you're trash. Ryan Garcia is not trash. It's just, when he faces the best opposition, maybe comes up a little bit short. That's not to say that he's not going to become a world champion at 140. That's not to say that he can't beat a guy like Devin Haney, any of those top dogs. It's just, I have to favor those guys just based on what I've seen so far. I never count out the most unlikely outcome, because this is the sport of boxing. And if Ryan Garcia were to stun a guy like Devin, land that left hook, that I don't want to say lucky shot, but it's kind of Ryan Garcia's Hail Mary. That's his bread and butter. He kind of closes his eyes and throws it, and it's landed, and it's worked for him in multiple fights, and especially this most recent fight against Oscar Duarte. So who's to say he doesn't land that? It's going to be difficult against very defensive and very fundamentally sound fighters like Devin, Shakur. But Ryan Garcia has said he wants to make fights with Shakur. He wants to make a fight with Devin Haney. But if he ultimately beats those guys, beats a Teofimo Lopez, he wants to get Tank. That's his goal at the end of the day, to get his get back, because he talked about how he wasn't emotionally involved in the sport anymore at that point. He was just like, I'm making a big fight happen. Who cares what happens, because at the end of the day, I'm doing this rehydration clause, blah, blah, blah. So in his mind, Ryan Garcia didn't really think about losing. The loss didn't hit him until just now, is what he said in a recent interview on DAZN. So for me, that tells me that his confidence is obviously going to be higher, maybe higher than it should be, but hey, he's a fighter. He has to think that way. He has to think that there's any fighter that steps in the ring with him, he can beat him no matter what weight class it is. He has to think like that. He has to have that competitor's mindset. But against a guy like Tank, he really has to sharpen up. And I think that, the time off, going with Derek James, I'm not sure what has changed. I'm not sure that Derek James has done anything to really impact Ryan Garcia. And, that performance wasn't very telling about what they've improved on as trainer and fighter. You know what I mean? Like, there wasn't anything that said, oh, Ryan really improved on this. He really basically looked like the same fighter to me. But I always say that if you look at fighters like Manny Pacquiao had some of the worst technique in the sport of boxing. He was known for being vulnerable down the center, from punches down the center. And getting out of position when he'd throw his left hand. But hey, he had that dynamite left hand. He had the hand speed, the footwork to make up for that kind of stuff. That's the difference. You know, Ryan Garcia is very talented. His power makes up for a lot of his mistakes, but does he have enough attributes to make up for those bad habits? That's the real question. And I don't think he's a guy like Manny Pacquiao status, but he is very talented. He hits very hard and he knows how to counter guys. He's very tall, so he has attributes that play into his favor as well. So Ryan Garcia is a very talented fighter. I'm just not sure how he fares with the top of the top, you know, the cream of the crop when it comes to the 140-pound division. And that's no disrespect. I'm just trying to keep it real. That's just what my eyes tell me when I'm watching the sport. You know how it is over here. We keep it real, guys. No bias, none of that, you know, favoritism. We call it how it is. And Ryan Garcia is great. I just don't know how he fares against guys like Shakur and Devin. I think those are just horrible stylistic matchups for him, and I'd like to see him against guys like Rolly, guys like Teofimo Lopez, guys like Regis Prograis, because I think those are more winnable fights for Ryan Garcia. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.
That's going to do it for another NASFight Media video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been your boy, Matt Nabong, with another video. Hope you guys enjoyed it all. Thank you guys for the constant support. Salute to y'all always. It's been your boy.